For a president who has long sold himself as someone who listens to the frustrations of everyday Americans, one phrase has become a reoccurring part of Donald Trump's public vocabulary.
How do we fix this country? How do we come back together?
I'll tell you something that's going to get me in trouble, but I couldn't care less.
And yesterday, following reports that Iran was pulling itself away from, out of peace negotiations, Donald Trump said this to CNBC, quote, "I couldn't care less."
They thought they were going to outweight me. You know, we'll outweight him. He's got the midterms. I don't care about the midterms.
So today, Trump told Reuters that he doesn't care about Iran's uranium.
Trump said, quote, "I couldn't care less. I hope they raise their prices, because if they do, people are going to buy American-made cars. We have plenty."
The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about American financial situation. I don't think about anybody.
Whether it's concerns about Iran's uranium stockpile, the rising costs due to its tariffs, or even the political fallout facing Republicans in the midterm elections, Trump's response has increasingly been some version of, "I don't care." That timing comes as Americans continue to express unease about the economy. Recent polls show many voters remain dissatisfied with the cost of living, even as inflation has eased from its peak. Critics argue that those repeated expressions of indifference risk reinforcing a broader public perception that the White House is brushing aside public concerns. Supporters counter that Trump is signaling he won't let critics or political pressure dictate his decisions. Joining us now are two of my friends, Kimberly Atkins Stohr, MS Now political analyst and columnist for the Boston Globe and writer of the Supreme Court newsletter, The Gavel, and April Ryan, White House correspondent and Washington bureau chief of Black Press USA and host of The Tea with April Ryan on Substack. Ladies, it's so good to see y'all.
It's wonderful to see you.
So here's what I feel about this, right? Republicans control all of Washington, right? And when you go into an election, people have one question on their mind, right? What have you done for me lately? With apologies to Janet Jackson.
Janet Jackson, that's right.
What say you? What do you think about his disconnect here, April Ryan?
There is a serious disconnect. I don't care. I don't care is a sense of it doesn't matter to me. When 18 service members have been killed in Iran. Now, at the end of the day, the toll is high when it comes to life. Let's look at the toll financially. Gas prices are rising yet again. Right. And last week, $79 a barrel of oil. And then this week, $100. I'm not going to say the name of the store, but one of those places that has those cars, those club cars, lines were all the way out of the place. People are gearing up to get lower prices. Then going to the grocery store. Right. The prices are too damn high.
Mm-hmm. And been high.
Been high. Like I'm quoting what the man who ran for mayor of New York said, the rent is too damn high, and that's too high, too. Prices of the housing prices are skyrocketing. Everything is high. But he says, I don't care. That is tone deafness. We have been saying this over and over again. It's Marie Antoinette. Let them eat cake. It is, what is it? The emperor with no clothes. I don't want to see him without any clothes, but the emperor with no clothes. And no, seriously, the American public is hurting, and that translates into votes or apathy. And Republicans better be concerned.
Kimberly, to the point about him not caring, it seems that the voters are hearing him. In an Economist YouGov poll, the question, Trump cares about the needs and problems of people like you. Only 34% of people said yes, 63% of people said no. Of the 63%, 12% say Trump doesn't care much, 51%. 51% say Trump doesn't care at all. Yeah. Donald Trump was very good in his in the run-up to his first term and in his first term, kind of being the advocate or the avatar for people's pain and frustrations with D.C., with how much money was leaving their pockets, despite the fact that he's a billionaire, right?
Right.
And that, it seems to be gone. That superpower does no longer exist.
Yeah, that's for the longest time, political strategists have said Trump's Trump's special gift was his ability to talk plain-spokenly in a way that the people could get behind. And now it's not just the perception that he doesn't care about people. He's out and out saying it. He said that he doesn't think about Americans' financial situation. He's saying this out loud. He's calling inflation and affordability a hoax, something Democrats made up. And Republicans are freaking out. Just in the Washington Post today, there's a piece about how Republicans are trying to rally even members of their core base, and they're having trouble because they want to talk about the economy. They want to talk about inflation. They want to talk about what really matters, yet here Trump is more focused on his ballroom and putting his name on everything in Washington, D.C. and New York, rather than the people of America who are seeing their grocery prices, gas prices, housing prices go through the roof.
And they say that behind closed doors, but then was it last hour, Robert? We had a video of over and over them saying we don't disagree with Donald Trump on anything, right? And so that disconnect completely exists with
So let me say this really fast. It could be what I say, but what do I do at the polls?
Right.
Think about the white farmer. Those are the people the first term Donald Trump paid attention to, the forgotten white man, right? He supported them. He said, I'm here for you. Gave all of this campaign speech, stumping, saying, we are one.
Right.
But second term, he has forgotten about them. They are my bellwether in this moment because, as we said before, the tariffs are hurting the white farmer. Not only are the tariffs, but the fact that they can't get fertilizer from the Strait of Hormuz.
But will that be enough, right? Because, I mean, with all due respect to that white farmer, white people have been voting against their interest in this country for a while, right? If they were going to vote on the issues, they would have voted for Kamala Harris because her economic...
But wait a minute. That's a lot of misogyny and racism. But let's say this. Politics is personal, and the pocketbook, there's nothing more personal than the pocketbook.
And also it's important that, people have different understandings of what their interests are. So you can watch them and say you're voting against your interests. But to them, their interests may not be exactly how you...
Economic interests is what I'm talking about.
But they still may think that their economic interest is within Donald Trump. They could be wrong, Jackie, but that is also an aspect. That is also an aspect of this. Is how they feel about it.
What were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, to the extent, these are people that, if given a chance to vote for Trump again, they might. But are they going to vote in November for the Republicans? What is going to happen is a lot of those people are going to stay home.
That's right.
And that threatens the full hold that Republicans have on Washington right now. So it's still a big problem.
Let's look at Georgia. One of the top industries in Georgia happens to be agriculture. There are a lot of agrarians there, majority white. And those poll numbers for governor are close, within what is it, the margin of error. So I'm looking at places like Georgia, rural places where the agrarians lead in industry there. The hurt is palpable because also, not only that, look at what happened to SNAP. SNAP is not just for poor people, it's also for farmers to give into SNAP. So farmers, there is a crunch there. And then it translates to us at the supermarket. Again, it's about money. Politics is personal. If I'm hurting and you say I don't care, I may say, wait a minute, let me take another look.
Yeah, and before we go to the break, I do think to put a bow on that point, economists predict that due to the tariffs, not even excluding the issue of rising gas prices and the way that the Iran war has increased prices, but American families are expected to pay around $1,100 more annually.
Yeah, and new tariffs came out Friday. New tariffs. Yes, new tariffs, 10 to 12.5%.
Kimberly Atkins Stohr and April Ryan are both sticking with us, thankfully, because we have a lot more to talk about.